not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous about this one. So I don't know if I'm gonna last like 10 minutes or a couple hours, so we're gonna see. So last time I swam was probably like 10 or so months ago. Growing up, I wasn't on the swim team, didn't do any water sports. Unfortunately, one swimmer found himself in this exact situation. He went out for a morning swim, and before you know it, he was swept away in the ocean, and he was stranded in the middle of the ocean for 5 hours, where he treaded water and was able to wave down a local fishing boat. For this challenge, my dad's gonna be joining me. This is Jim. We're gonna see how long he can last. Now, nobody really expects to be stranded in the middle of the ocean or a lake. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shock my body and do a belly flop to start this challenge off. That says 1 hour, 10 minutes. The water is about 70 degrees. A little chilly, but other than that, it's feeling nice. What's the what?
What's the ocean temperature?
Yeah, what's the ocean?
60 degrees, 50 degrees,
Depends on what ocean.
and probably choppy, so it's probably like this. Is that better?
That's better.
Is that more realistic?
I like it.
It feels like a slow jog or a fast walk.
Yeah.
And your calves are hurting? Definitely my calves and my shin muscles. Feels like those can cramp up pretty much anytime. It's cold. I've gotten colder and colder. I thought it would warm up,
Yeah.
but like my fingers are cold. I've got goosebumps. So I don't know if the blood.
You know what's crazy? Is the guy that got swept away in the ocean, he didn't have a buddy, somebody to be doing this challenge with. So I bet an hour and a half into it, he was probably feeling pretty scared. I know I would be, especially what's lurking below you in the ocean. Some waves that might be splashing in your face, swallowing some seawater. The guy was definitely very strong, endurance-driven athlete. He endured a lot. Oh, it sinks. You can feel it in your abs. You're getting a good workout in.
I feel it in my back too.
So I learned from the marathon video. Now I have to stay hydrated during these challenges, or else my body's gonna give out. So in this challenge, something we did not anticipate was how hard it was to actually drink. I got some electrolytes here. You gotta stop using your arms. You gotta hold your breath a little bit and drink. It's challenging.
I did it. Lasted an hour and a half.
Gonna keep going.
I'm gonna sit right here on this ledge. Yeah, these guys are cramping up.
Got goosebumps.
Yeah. The water's great, but it gets cold.
Body's getting tired. The fatigue is starting to set in, especially on my arms. I can feel my lower back just barely starting to cramp up a little bit. Surprisingly, my fingers too starting to hurt a little bit. Started to dip a little bit lower. Can feel a little bit more water get in my mouth. Treading water burns about 250 to 400 calories an hour. I'm starting to get kind of hungry. Since my dad left the challenge, it has been a little bit more difficult. The minutes go by slower. Constantly look at the clock. Something to definitely think about doing with these challenges is if it's actually easier to do them with a partner. You know, share the experience with someone. Missing my dad in this challenge, but gonna keep going. This one's the longest challenge so far, so it's the longest I've gone in a challenge, which mentally that does something, but
also physically for my body as well. This is the longest it's had to endure in a challenge. It's getting me floated. Some good food afterwards. Maybe a big old large pizza, some cake. So as you can imagine, my body's starting to be like, what the heck are you doing? Triceps are screaming. My ankles, surprisingly, are starting to hurt as well. My wife insisted on putting a rope with some noodles across so that in case I did cramp up, I can easily grab on to the rope and help save myself. I can feel almost like a little bit of like a mental fog. So there's a little bit of a mental game here as well. We did it. If I can endure, so can you. My dad said this was the hard part. Oh, almost like you're like lightheaded a little bit. Wow, yeah, we did it. 5 hours. Thanks for tagging along. Just lasted 5 hours in the pool. Thanks again for the family that was up here. And if I can endure this, so can you.